Schools cannot diagnose. They can't diagnose ADHD, they can't diagnose autism, they can't diagnose dyslexia. Only a medical professional can do that. Here's where the problem is. When you ask the school, can you diagnose my child with whatever, and they say no, and then they leave it at that, that's what gets me mad because they know exactly what you're asking for. You're asking whether or not your child has a suspected disability and qualifies for an IEP. So, yes, the school can test. The school can determine whether or not your child fits the profile of a child with dyslexia. It would be under the classification of specific learning disorder. So what you want to do is you want to get the school to go ahead and test for that, and if your child falls into the that category, then they can start doing the services via an IEP. Then you can contact your doctor. A lot of times, doctors and dyslexia is an educational disability, so it may not be a doctor unless it's a psychologist that has a PhD or something like that. But either way, a lot of times parents will look and try to get their child diagnosed with whatever their suspected disability is through the medical community, and there's a waiting list. The idea does not allow for the wait for a child to receive services to be as long as a doctor's waiting list can be. So I always advise that parents go through the school, put the referral in writing, telling them what your child's symptoms are and what your suspicion is, and ask for testing, and then also get on the waiting list of the various doctors to get an official diagnosis. Now, an official diagnosis of dyslexia really is not going to change what happens with your child's IEP unless the dyslexia or unless that doctor has something on a report that the school is not going to have. It might be different when your child maybe has autism or ADHD, because then there could be medication involved or things like that. But it's always helpful to get that diagnosis because you never know what you might need that insurance can pay for that a school is not going to cover. So I hope this helps.